Welcome to e-learning course on Applied Thermodynamics, module Vapor Power Cycle, session Regenerative and Reheat Rankine Cycle. Myself Ramesh Biyar, Assistant Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Jain Institute of Technology, Davangere. We start with ideal regenerative Rankine cycle. We have two types of regenerative cycles. One is ideal and another one is practical. So, first we will discuss ideal regenerative cycle. In a simple Rankine cycle, the condensed working fluid is pumped to the boiler at temperatures much lower than the boiler temperature. The irreversible mixing with the boiler water reduces the cycle efficiency, and hence to overcome this, a method is used to heat the feed water by interchange of heat within the system is called regenerative feed heat, and the corresponding cycle is called regenerative or bleeding cycle. Figure shows the flow on TS diagram of an ideal regenerative Rankine cycle. Here the cycle 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 dash and 1 is a simple Rankine cycle. The cycle 1, 2 dash, 3, 4, 4 dash and 1 is a regenerative cycle. You can see in your TS diagram. The cycle 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 dash and 1 is a simple Rankine cycle. The regenerative cycle is 1 and this curve goes to 2 dash, 3, 4, 4 dash and 1 is the regenerative cycle. In an ideal regenerative cycle, the condensed working fluid coming out of the pump is made to circulate around the turbine. Here you can observe here, it is made to circulate around the turbine casing, counterflow to the direction of steam flow. By this arrangement, heat is transferred from the vapor to the liquid flowing around the turbine. The temperature of the feed water increases to certain extent. Steam expands in the turbine from the condition 1 to 2 dash instead of path 1 to 2. Gets condensed in the condenser from point 2 dash to 3. Then pumped around the turbine casing, followed by regenerative heating and heating feed water in the boiler. It is clear that water enters the boiler in the regenerative cycle at T4 dash temperature instead of T4, as in the case of simple Rankine cycle. The average temperature of heat addition in ideal regenerative cycle is greater than that in the simple Rankine cycle. This resulting in an increase of efficiency of the regenerative Rankine cycle. So, the expression for thermal efficiency is given by 1 minus heat rejected over heat supplied, which can be written as 1 minus T2 into delta S over T1 into delta S. So, delta S means it is the heat rejection process taking place from 2 dash to 3. So, delta S can be written as S2 dash minus S3, here you can see here, and heat supplied takes place from T1 delta S, and delta S means it is a heat supplied during the boiler, and delta S is written as S1 minus S4 dash in a regenerative cycle. So, heat transfer takes place from 4 dash to 1. So, for this case, so delta S is written as S1 minus S4 dash. Since path 1 2 dash this curve and 4 dash 3 this 4 dash 4 and 3 and 1 and 2 dash are parallel. So, we have S4 dash minus S3, this S4 dash minus S3, the difference between these two is same as of S2 dash minus S1, this S1 minus S2 dash. So, the difference between these two dotted lines are same because these two lines are parallel, or else we can also write S1 minus S4 dash is equal to S2 dash minus S3. So, based on the same principle. So, therefore, here in the numerator as a denominator, either you can replace for S2 dash minus S3 or S1 minus S4 dash. So, it get cancelled. Therefore, the final expression for thermal efficiency of a cycle becomes 1 minus TL over TH, and you just remember what is the expression for Carnot cycle. It is given by 1 minus minimum temperature by maximum temperature, that is low temperature by high temperature, and this expression is a Carnot cycle efficiency expression, and it is for ideal regenerative cycle. Thus, the ideal regenerative cycle efficiency is equal to Carnot efficiency under the same temperature limits. This is a conclusion what we can draw seeing this expression. Next is practical regenerative cycle. In practical, ideal regenerative Rankine cycle is difficult to achieve because the heat transfer from the vapor to the liquid feed water is impossible. In practice, a separate feed water heater are used to achieve the purpose. The feed water heaters are classified as open feed water and closed feed water heaters. So, now we say first one, which is a regenerative cycle with open feed heater, water heater. So, it is a flow diagram and it is a TS diagram which represents the regenerative cycle with open feed water heater. The flow diagram of a single open feed water heater and the corresponding are shown in the figure. Consider 1 kg of steam entering the turbine, here 1 kg of steam entering the turbine at condition 1, and you can observe in the TS diagram this is the condition 1 and it is dry saturated steam. The steam is expanded in the turbine to an intermediate state point 2. So, here the steam is expanded till an intermediate state point number 2, wherein at this point a certain amount of steam, say Y kg, is extracted or bleed off into open feed water heater. The remaining part of the steam, that is 1 minus Y, we have taken 1 kg of mass here, out of which Y kg is drawn to feed water heater and remaining is 1 minus Y kg. So, the remaining part of the steam, which is equal to 1 minus Y kg, is allowed to expand till condition 3. Till condition 3, here Y kg is shown by this line and 1 minus Y kg is shown by this line, and 1 kg is this. After condensation from point 3 to point 4, the 1 minus Y kg of water is compressed in the feed pump to the bleeding pressure. So, bleeding pressure is where it is at P5, that is 0.5. So, it is compressed till bleeding pressure, which is P5, which is also equal to P2. It is now mixed in the feed water heater with Y kg of bleed steam. So, now from the turbine you will get Y kg, from the condenser through feed pump 1 we will get 1 minus Y kg, and both will get mixed in the feed water heater, and the resulting 1 kg of mixture leaves the heater through feed pump 2 to the boiler, which is at condition 6. The condition 6 is the exit point of the mixture of y kg and 1 minus y kg which is mixed inside the feed water, that is the condition 6, and it is going through the feed pump 2 and reaches condition 7 before entering the boiler. A second feed pump compresses the water to the boiler, as I told earlier, that is it compresses to point number 7, and the process repeats. This is how a regenerative cycle with open feed water heater is made. The thermal efficiency of this is given by thermal efficiency is equal to, it is net work done by heat added, that is heat supplied minus heat rejected over heat supplied. So, this gives 1 minus QR by QS. Heat supplied is written as H1 minus H7 because heat supply takes place in the boiler. So, you can write it as H1 by H1 minus H7, and heat rejection takes place. Heat rejection is taking place in the condenser, and what is the mass of the substance here? It is 1 minus Y. That is why 1 minus Y into difference in enthalpy, that is H4 minus H3. So, this gives the thermal efficiency, since H7 is equal to H6 because there is no change in enthalpy in the feed pump. So, we can replace 7 with 6 and the expression becomes this. So, here Y is equal to H6 minus H5 over H2 minus H5. So, the mass M is given by Y, that is the mass of M or Y which is taken or bleed off from the turbine is given by H6 minus H5 or H2 minus H5, and this is the amount of steam which is drawn from the turbine at state point 2 or condition 2. Continuing with, we have regenerative cycle with closed feed water heater. So, this is a flow diagram and this is a TS diagram. So, closed feed water is the most frequently used type of feed water heater, wherein the extracted, that is bleed off steam, and the feed water condensate, that is feed water condensate, whatever the feed water which is coming from the condenser, do not mix together. But in the open feed water heater, so the working substance which was coming from the condenser and the bleed off taken from the turbine both gets mixed in the feed water heater, but here it will not mix. In the closed feed water heater type, shell and tube type of recuperators are used here because both will not get mixed. The feed water coming out of the condenser flows through the, this is the condenser direction. So, flows through the pump 1, while pump 1 through a recuperator tube, while extracted steam from the turbine feeds over the tube and heat is transferred from the extracted steam to the feed water, resulting in increase in temperature of the feed water that is entering the boiler. Now, consider 1 kg of steam entering the turbine at condition 1. The steam expands from 1 to 2, that is for an intermediate state condition. Here, a fraction of steam which is equal to Y kg is extracted into the closed feed water heater, where it condenses on the outside of the tube. Saturated water is taken out from the closed feed water heater at a pressure P2, and the condensate is allowed into the condenser. This condensate is allowed into the condenser, where it mixes with 1 minus Y kgs of coming out of the turbine. The working fluid at condition 4 here is pumped to the boiler into the feed water heater at condition 5. The temperature of the feed water heater is increased due to heat transfer from the extracted steam. The feed water leaves the water heater at condition 6 and enters the boiler, where the heat is added to the feed water to attain condition 1, and the process repeats. And this is how a regenerative cycle with closed feed water is going to work. Next we see reheat cycle, the second type of Rankine cycle. In a Rankine cycle, the condition of steam at the end of expansion in the turbine is very wet. This wet steam results in corrosion of turbine blades, leading to losses in the cycle efficiency. Hence, it became necessary to reheat steam after part of expansion in the turbine was over. So, the resulting condition of the steam after complete expansion fell within the region of permissible wetness. So, a superheated steam coming out of the boiler enters at high pressure, enters the high pressure turbine. This is high pressure and there are two turbines here. So, enters the high pressure turbine at condition 1 and is expanded in the turbine to intermediate pressure condition 2. You can see here, this is the first condition, that is expansion in the high pressure turbine. The steam at condition 2 is taken out from the high pressure turbine and is reheated in the boiler once again. You can see here, the reheating is taking place in the boiler itself, and it is expanded in the low pressure turbine from point 3 to point 4. The superheated steam at condition 3 leaves the boiler and enters the low pressure turbine where it expanded to the condenser pressure. Note that the dryness fraction of steam entering the condenser with the reheat cycle is greater than, see, dryness fraction is greater here, right, and 0.8 represents the lowest dryness fraction. So, instead of entering at 8, it is going to enter at 4, and there is an increase in the dryness of the vapor. So, this happens because of the reheat cycle, and reheat cycle is greater than that without reheat cycle. The condensate is pumped to the boiler and then to the high pressure turbine to repeat the process, and thermal efficiency is found using the definition net work done by heat added. Here net work done is work done by turbine plus work done by the pump over heat supplied. Here two types of work turbines are there, one is high pressure turbine, another one is low pressure turbine. If you add both, you will get the total turbine work plus pump work. And we have two types of heat additions here, one is in the boiler and another one is reheat. So, substitute for all these things based on the enthalpies, we are going to get this expression, and this expression gives H1 minus H2 plus H3 minus H4 plus H6 minus H5 over H1 minus H6 plus H3 minus H2 is going to give the thermal efficiency of a reheat cycle. And this is the end of session on regenerative and reheat Rankine cycles. Thank you so much. Please do subscribe to my channel BR Mech Academy.